jumped on real fast, basically, okay? And it's probably going to take me, I'm not going to do a complete overview, basically, because, we like to assess situations. And we're not able to fully assess. But for other individuals who have been doing their due diligence, not only in the YouTube streets, but on other platforms, this is what we try to warn. You got different types of military individuals, you guys. You got based, and then you have the green ones. So they go in different clusters. And I didn't want to put the title up here because, as I've stated, I'm not able to give a complete full breakdown, but I want to give some type of breakdown. So individuals came into, another podcast chat. And I don't know if this individual was pretending to be someone and used a different screen name, but we're going to go ahead and cover it. So this is going to be considered a case study. Because at first I was like, is this shit real or is it fake? Because, we reading fake scripts over here. And then we develop real scripts, basically, which is to share share what's really going on behind the scenes. So individuals came to the podcast. No one was asking for it, but now they're about to get served, basically, and not served. You feel me? Trey McCray, false teardrops, plus more. So I guess she wants to be famous. I have no idea what kratom is. I know for sure you're not supposed to be giving anything to minors, to little children, especially not supplements, basically. And then I don't know if kratom is even approved in the United States. Has it been approved? When I say that, has it been approved by the FDA? And I'm not sure. I still have to do my research. So as we're doing the sleuthing in the, I'm not going to call it other underground, but as we're doing the sleuthing in the YouTube streets, and this came out the horse's mouth. She said they don't pay attention to what individuals take, basically. This is like Snap 6.0, you guys, but it's happening in real time. We don't know if she's disappeared from the YouTube screens and hop back onto Facebook or going to TikTok or whatever. I don't know if she wants to be famous, but now is probably the time. And only because individuals hop into Talk is Cheap podcast, they're like, are you guys going to cover this story? Cover this story? Why? It's enough individuals covering the story, but have they really gotten to the meat? It's a lot of things going on. So this is a case study because I don't know if it's real or fake, you guys. We are not in Arizona, basically. Still very interesting, very interesting. Even if you know how you have mock trials and stuff, like when attorneys practicing do certain things. So this is going to be like, we're going to call it a mock case study. But these individuals do not appear to be artificial intelligence or robots. She said they do not pay attention to what's in to what people takes. Individuals do pay attention. That's why they have blood tests. And you can also sample individuals' hair. We prefer blood test. Okay. What else? Give me 1 second because I have a few notes. In urine. So even if individuals are in a comatose state, you can still take their urine. You can still use a catheter, is what it's called, to take their urine. So why would people would ask the question or beg the question, why would individuals not want immediate family members to come and see their loved ones if they're in a comatose state, especially if they were going to say their last or final goodbyes? Because we don't know what happens to individuals. We don't know. We know that the soul continues to live. Well, I don't know it, but so individuals being catty, and this is according, like I said, we don't know if this is psyops, fake, or whatever, but it's a classic case study, and we hope the individuals learn lessons. Basically, class is now in session. So this individual, I guess she goes to Mexico to get some type of supplements. As I've told you, I don't know if kratom or other type of supplements. I mean, if you have to go across the border for it, that means 9 times out of 10, if you can't buy it from, like, what's the name of that supplement place, you guys, that they be having in the mall? Y'all know what I'm talking about. I can't think of it because I don't take any supplements. but y'all know what I'm speaking about or whatever. I think it's like GNC or something like that. If they don't sell it in the States or whatever, and if you have to go across borders in order to get it, that means 9 times out of 10, it has not been approved by the FDA, basically. I think this individual, Dre McCray, is very sick. Y'all can sit up there and flash forward. Flash forward. She's more concerned about her eyelashes and her fingernails than she is about her husband. Why doesn't she want to? We're not going to say, oh, should you pull the plug or whatever, but if she's a Jehovah Witness, are you like trying to keep somebody alive if they're technically, according to the doctors, perhaps maybe brain dead? And yes, we all know that God has the final say, but when it comes to specialists saying we're going to run these tests, if these tests do not come back like they're supposed to, we're not going to tell you what to do, but we're going to encourage you to pull the plug. So by her being legally quote unquote married to him, but if she has done anything to interfere with this former Marine's wellness and health, would y'all think she'll be able to legally like to pull the plug, or do you think that family members could step in? And this is why individuals have to know their rights or whatever. And this is also why POAs is not, it's not effective once a person passes away. But when you have a POA in effect, basically, individuals are not able to have total and complete control over your lives. So she doesn't know how any type of paperwork is looking on the other side. And that's basically, so maybe that's why Dre McCray, maybe that's why she's leery. She's probably Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Should I pull the plug? Should I not pull the plug? Because she doesn't know what type of quote-unquote rights or access she would have, basically. But we all know from watching this and using it as a case study, because as I stated, this is weird right now. We don't know what other individuals' paperwork is looking like or whatever, and that's why it's key. And when I say that we're speaking for, not speaking for, but trying to educate service members, this is a classic case study that if there were entrance training, you want to make sure that they watch this right here, even though they are giving pep talks, basically. They don't pay attention to what people take is blood, hair samples, and urine. And just because individuals are in a comatose state, as I've stated at the beginning of this video, that's what the catheter is for. So this lady, she's not playing a witch doctor. She's just playing as though she's God, the judge, and a doctor, and she's not. So out of all those videos, you guys, and you probably have not seen these eerie videos, they're very eerie. I was like, what am I witnessing right now? And that's how other individuals are thinking. What are they witnessing right now? And then individuals in the YouTube streets fussing and fighting over who's going to cover this, who's going to cover. We're using this as a case study, basically. So whether it was mock or if it's actually reality, if it were reality, whoever is the biological father of those children who are trapped in that house with Dre McCray, we would immediately encourage the biological fathers of those children to obtain an emergency court order to get them out of the home. And if it were real mandated reporters watching, not even just like watching her carry on at the hospital, they have social workers at hospitals, you guys, and they're there for a reason, to protect individuals who cannot speak for themselves, especially elderly individuals. Real CPS workers would have moved in immediately to remove the child and or children from that home. They'd be like, where are the kids? Where are the kids? People ain't running off with them. They are trying to protect them. And even if it's a mock case, and it's not, even if it's mock or reality, you guys, real CPS workers would have moved in almost immediately to go to a judge in the middle of the night or the next day, soon as the sun comes up, to remove them kids from that home in order to protect them. But whoever the biological father is, we would encourage him, look, before we intervene, you have enough information let's say this stuff is real, to move in and gain temporary custody of those children in order to protect them before she harms them. She admitted. I mean, we don't know how real or fake this TikTok shit is, but let's use it as a mock case study. What would you do if you were the biological fathers in this sense? That's what we the people want to know. And individuals fake believe they have the hand up. I told you there's not going to be any going around in circles. Y'all know that song, how to go on in circles. There's not going to be any going around in circles. There's not going to be any Scooby Dooby Doos. There's not going to be any, oh, we're going to pretend to. This is absolutely sickening, even if it is not real, you guys. So it's a reason why she doesn't want to pull the plug if the doctors are encouraging her. Hey, he's probably going to be brain dead, and obviously, doctors are practicing medicine. They do not have the final say. God has the final say. But if individuals have had any type of family member on the ventilator or on oxygen, I'm gonna say on oxygen because on oxygen or anything like that, doctors can assess them by they run, I don't know what the tests are called, but they run they check for the brain activity. And if the brain activity isn't there, they can see that this is not going to work. And doctors themselves can say unplug them, but they will hold, so the family will hold a meeting and they'll discuss whether or not what they're going to do in the final moments or whatever. But God has the final say. Doctors are practicing medicine, but 9 times out of 10, when they run those tests, they know for sure. In most events, we're gonna say it like that or whatever. So if you've never seen anyone in a comatose state and you've been afraid to listen to a doctor, listen to a competent medical specialist because they do not want individuals to undergo unnecessary pain, you know, hearing is the last thing to leave. I know this because I've worked around enough elderly people. And some of them were vets. Old age though. Old age. They live great lives. So it's a reason why she doesn't want to follow the medical specialist's attention if these events are real on its face. But we're gonna use this as a mock study because we don't like being made a mockery of, basically, when it comes to science, when it comes to any type of realm. But now we're speaking about the medical realm right here. And that's why POAs are important, you guys. So if you don't learn anything else, you will learn the power of the POA. She doesn't know what's going on. Like, we don't know if he have stuff, you know what I'm saying, set up for the parents. So not even set up in that sense or whatever. We don't know the background, so I'm not able to assess that part. But she thinks she's some type of doctor. I think she's a weirdo. I think she's a weirdo. And I think she's a Jezebel. But we're going to stop saying Jezebel spirits because they have no spirits. They have no empathy. They have no emotions. Jezebels do exactly what she does. And other individuals in the YouTube streets, basically. Jezebels. This would be a good, even if it's not a real event, a good mock case study or whatever. And this should be an entrance. So when individuals see stuff like this, they know how to protect themselves. When I say that, I'm speaking about service members. This is bigger than the NFL, NBA, music, entertainment. Roger Goodell. Y'all know football season coming. Absolutely disturbing. Absolutely disturbing. The videos are absolutely disturbing. So if y'all want to know what keeps competent individuals up, they don't necessarily keep individuals up at night, but if you really want to learn, if you really want to study human or social behavior, you really want to study psychopaths or sociopaths, Trey McCrary is the one, and others like her. Some of them are in the YouTube streets. They're on silent mode right now. They'll come back out, probably come back out on Friday, or wait and see if the coast is clear to see if the false flagging have worked on individuals' channels, basically. This is bigger than the evolution of technology, but as I've stated, They won't be able to pay, they won't pay attention to what people take. Obviously, they can pay attention to the urine, the blood, and hair samples. They don't even have to go as far as the hair samples, the blood and urine. But if they want to go as far as the hair samples, all it takes are lab tests, basically. But why would individuals try to keep immediate family members from around their loved ones if they're in a comatose state and they're underneath? When we say underneath, we mean if they're in a coma. And comas can people can slip into a coma, or doctors can put you in a sedated coma. They can sedate you to where you're not moving and flopping around. Those are involuntary movements. And the only reason why individuals would keep others away from their immediate family members, like their parents and their siblings, is because if they hear familiar voices, they might start responding to those voices and moving towards those voices. And when individuals sometimes cry if they're in a coma, they're responding to certain type of stuff or whatever. That's their subconscious speaking. So she said that the subconscious speaking because the doctors were doing something wrong. Doctors didn't give that guy, Von McCray, any type of alleged illegal supplements that were smuggled. I said alleged illegal supplements because we don't know if kratom is FDA approved in the United States of America. Doctors don't have life insurance on Vaughn. So why would they try to hurt him, basically? They don't have anything to gain. Q&A. Why would the doctors try to hurt this guy if they don't have anything to gain? Be careful who you lay with. Jezebels. And military is easy prey because they know some individuals do come out with slight or, you know what I'm saying, come out with PTSD. Not all of them. People assume because individuals join any type of given branch that they automatically come out with PTSD, and that's not true. Some individuals claim PTSD to get a check. Some individuals are injured. That's not PTSD. Kalita Hannah Poole. Individuals who are green, that would be the quote unquote educated lanes. Individuals who served in the military, some of them would be green if they have not experienced certain type of things in this thing called life or whatever. So Dre McCrary preyed on the right Marine, basically. Roll the Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Roll that. Y'all seen that cartoon before? This is very fascinating, even if these events are not real, because y'all know we like to touch real stuff or whatever so that we can cross-reference different type of various episodes and or occurrences and events, basically. That's what real research is all about. That's why we're going to call this a mock case study. Y'all have seen SNAP. You've seen this is like SNAP 6.0 using kratom supplements that could possibly be illegal if it's not FDA approved. Let's say it is FDA approved. Something that she's putting in there, something caused those seizures. But when individuals experience seizures, and trust me, individuals have taken many CPR classes, and I've had to, you know what I'm saying, assess people. And when people are having seizures, you all know, leave them alone. But if you think that it's a high possibility that they might swallow their tongue, you want to put something that's firm, not a plastic spoon or anything. You want to put something that's firm in their mouth. And yeah, they might shatter their teeth, they might chip or whatever, but it's better than them swallowing their tongue. But if you don't think that, if they're not showing any signs that they're going to swallow their tongue or whatever, leave them alone. Just let them go through that state of mind. Do not touch them. You immediately call 911. Call for assistance and call for real medical attention, basically, because those are the professionals. Yes, they're practicing, but those are the professionals. So how many times does a person have to have a seizure before you call for medical attention? Call someone for medical attention. First response is what it's called. So they're just gonna be like, oh, the Jehovah Witness, JWs. We're not talking about religion. Spirituality is bigger than religion. And there's too many religions to even discuss. That's why I was like, we don't have time for religion. We have time for God. Never called. Even if somebody have a seizure and you quote unquote think they might be okay, still call for medical help or take them to an ER. But I prefer for you to call for medical assistance, because if you're trying to transport someone who does not have, proper mobility or whatever, you can end up hurting them. And there's some reason why she doesn't want him to, just like, if she doesn't want to unplug him. But if the doctors are telling you that they did several tests to see how his brain is functioning, and it's a high possibility that he, even if he wake up, he's going to be a vegetable, why is she afraid to pull the plug? Q&A. Why is Dre McCrary afraid to pull a plug, or whatever the fuck this girl, I think it's McCray, my bad. Why is she afraid to pull a plug? How is she benefiting from this? Is Vaughn receiving any type of checks? How has she been? Why is she keeping his parents away from him? Why does she shush the kids when they're speaking? And then she try to trick one of them. This FD event's surreal, because people play all the time on TikTok just to go viral. But this is your 15 seconds of shame or fame, girl. So enjoy this. Like I say, individuals last week, Friday to be exact, individuals came into other individuals' chat, and we're really trying to just sit up there and ratchet it out on Fridays, talking about, you know what I'm saying, F-listers who are not celebrities, and talking about, you know what I'm saying, real life events in the news. So since they have time now, Infamy Greatly got time today, tomorrow, and yesterday. Q&A. Why is she afraid to pull the plug? Why is she going against doctor's advice? And yes, we know, as I'm going to say, doctors are practicing medicine. They're not the ones who gave this guy possibly alleged illegal substances, i.e., supplements. What should the biological fathers do? Keep their children in that situation, or biological father keep those children in a situation to where they could possibly be harmed as well? Because if they end up having adverse effects to the kratom or whatever, she calls it something else when she's giving it to them. If these stories are real, true, and on its face. But why are you giving little children supplements that you can't basically get over the counter? Like certain type of like Flintstone vitamins. And as you know, the body will basically defend itself or whatever. And some individuals do have to take over-the-counter meds or medicine, or take prescriptions in order to get well when their body cannot fight off certain type of illnesses, or stuff like that or whatever, or if their immune system is weak. But why would she give the children possibly, allegedly, illegal supplements? I'm saying the word alleged because I don't know much about kratom. And if the doctors are telling her that he's possibly brain dead, why would she want to keep him on the machine? Does she benefit financially from it? Is there any type of financial gains? And 9 times out of 10, there probably is. This is a very sick individual if she's a real person. We don't know if she's a robot yet, you guys. Dre McCray is a very sick individual. And we don't know what Vaughn was thinking. We don't know what his, assessments are looking like on the back end. So we're not going to dig into his files. What would you guys do if you were the parents and someone was keeping you away from your loved one because they were in a coma? Would you look at them side-eyed? I would. And normally individuals back in the day used to, this Munchausen syndrome used to make their kids sick so they can quote unquote have empathy from society or the doctors. But then the doctors start doing additional tests and they realize you are the root of the issues, the sickness. The evil is the root of the sickness. So as long as certain individuals are not around this person, perhaps they will not sit up there and have involuntary responses, which they can't control. They just go off of whatever it is they're hearing. And it's not the doctors that are making that guy cry or whatever. Something made the teardrop. That's his subconscious. He's probably not even aware that he shed a tear if that was real. Because individuals can put water on someone's knee because you're like, see, they're crying. I know when my grandmother was, she was left behind in Katrina or whatever, and the generators failed at the hospital. But prior to that or whatever, the doctors were like, we don't know if she's gonna pull out or pull through this or whatever. Well, I ain't gonna say my grandma, my aunt, her sister, but to me, she's like my grandmother. She's also my godmother. And so we're like, we're not ready to unplug her yet because she's doing certain type of things. And the doctor was like, those are involuntary responses. We're like, no, like she's like moving and it's kind of stationary. So then they were like, we're gonna try to remove her from the oxygen. We're gonna see how that goes for a little period of time, and if she's able to breathe on her own, then we're gonna continue to assess her. So not only did she breathe on her own, you guys, she started writing down names. No one heard her. She was writing down names to let us know that she knew who was in the room. Oh, this is such and she, and we didn't tell her that she did. She couldn't talk. She wanted a pen because she was doing this. She can't use, she doesn't know American Sign Language, ASL. So when people think people are doing like, no, people are doing alphabets or whatever. And some people do, we know people that know real sign language because they're deaf. And other individuals aren't deaf, but they still know ASL and Braille. And they're not blind. So she was making movements and we were like telling them, no, she is talking to us. She can't speak, but she's talking to us. So then she starts writing down everyone's name. And the doctors themselves were amazed. They were like, wow. And they were like, in the daytime, we'll keep her, she can be without the oxygen assistance. And at night, we're going to put her back on. So that's how the routine worked or whatever. And Hurricane Katrina hit, the generators failed, and she ended up being stranded in New Orleans or whatever. It had gotten too hectic. People didn't know how bad the storm was going to be or whatever. So other individuals had to come down, I think by helicopter or something. But eventually she floated. They tagged her, so we eventually found her body a couple of weeks after Katrina. But that's an entirely different story or whatever. But when it comes to individuals being in a comatose state, why would you keep individuals from seeing someone if you're not the root, i.e. the evil, the cause of any type of problems that they're having? And it's just like back in the day when when individuals used to make their kids sick or make their loved ones sick, no matter the relationship or whatever. But as long as they're not around those individuals, they get well when they're in a hospital. Make it make sense. And that's when doctors communicate with social workers, and they might very well so, because as they are mandated reporters, communicate with law enforcement. Dre McCray, you're sick. You're sick. You're sick. And if Vaughn is receiving any type of checks from the military, perhaps that is one of many reasons why she wants to keep him alive, because she has no way to see what that paperwork is looking like on the other side. So as long as she keeps him alive or whatever, she have time to probably go through her head the plot and plan more stuff, whatever. But as she was giving individuals alleged illegal supplements, which may or may not be approved by the FDA, she's buying herself some time. So as long as he's in a comatose state, because he's not dead yet, he could possibly be brain dead if he's not waking up. And if they unplug him and if he responds by flatlining, he's gone. But she's keeping him on that machine for a reason, you guys. So this is bigger than Fauci. This is bigger than politics, you guys. I'm going to end right there because I want to do some more. I want to watch a few more. It's not clips. No, these are long, drawn out evidence. So we don't know if she's finally going to make it to the first 48 or Snap 6.0. And what else? What other kind of weird shows do they have going out there on Investigation Discovery? Dre, McCray, or whatever her name is sick. You're sick if you're a real individual. You're sick. If I was in Arizona, I would, if I were the biological fathers of those children who are trapped in that house with you, I would tell them or encourage them to get an emergency court order for custody until they figure out what's really going on. And I would also encourage them to get medical, to seek medical attention and have those doctors run blood tests on those children, hair, blood test, and everything else that they can get, blood and a urine test, to see what's in their system. And if anything comes up as being illegal or being some type of supplements which are not FDA approved, this bitch belongs in jail. Period. This bitch belongs in jail. Even if this is a mock study, this information needs to be said. This is a good entrance for basic train BT. This is some good entrance training. She's the perfect case study too. I'm going to end this video because even if this shit was some shit that's made for Lifetime, it's very fucking disturbing. I'm going to be back, you guys. I'm going to talk to you. Tomorrow's Friday. We're not going to discuss this on Friday. I'm not sure when I'm going to put this Dre weirdo on the chopping block, but bitch, you're going on there since individuals had time to disturb other people's podcasts, basically. All right? So we don't know what they're watching in the YouTube streets. We salute the beef sector, the ring sector, the social pathetic sector, the psychopath sector. I want to say psychopathic. Psychopath sector. Narcissistic flying monkey sector. This is bigger than Trump. It's bigger than Obama. It's bigger than Sleepy Joe Biden. All right, you guys. So, y'all be seeing me shake stuff, whatever. I used to do a little videos called Mission Impossible. We're ready to discuss these mock case studies, and I call them mock because we do not have any solid evidence besides these videos or whatever. I do know one thing, that if you know that your child or children are possibly being poisoned, move in for emergency court order, i.e. emergency motherfucking custody. And that's what the gag is on that. And this is your favorite mean girl. This is Crowns and Tea podcast, where we do real news and or mock case studies. Okay? All right, you guys. Permanently suspended and permanently banned from Twitter. And if you guys haven't figured out why, then now you may know. I will talk to you guys later. I hope you guys had a wonderful day. I hope you have a wonderful night. I hope you have a wonderful Friday. And we will be back to Let's Chit and More Chatter and talk to you real soon. Now I got a jet.